Hello everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. Today we're going to stitch another fun block in this adorable project, Enchanted Winter by Kimberbell. In today's video, we're going to stitch this block right here, which is called Snowflake number 2. This is going to be pretty. So let's go ahead and grab our plastic pouch system that you've labeled Snowflake 2. And let's go ahead and go over to the machine and let's get started stitching. All right, we're at the machine. I have a bobbin with white thread down below. I am going to put blue thread in the top of my machine because in my Snowflake 2 pouch, I have the fabric that we're going to be using for this block. So I'm going to put the color thread that I'm going to be using for my quilting in the machine right now. We're going to use that for the first several steps. There we go. Let's get the white out and let's put the blue in. All right, so whatever color thread you're going to be doing your quilting in, go ahead and put that color thread up on top now, and we'll use that for the first several stitches, including the quilting. All right, that's good. I got a loop. Let's get the loop out. Okay, so I'm going to put the fabric off to one side. I also need to grab a piece of batting that goes with that block. Put that also off to one side. And I need to pick a hoop for this block. Now, if you see on the machine, I've got my 5x7 hoop. This design with the block by block quilting that we're doing stitches out to 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So my 4-inch hoop will not quite do it. It's a 1/2 inch too big. So I had to step up to the 5x7 inch hoop. Then I put a piece of the poly no-show mesh stabilizer in that hoop. All right, so let's go to the machine and let's load the design. Okay, I have a Baby Lock Destiny, which is identical to the Embroidery machine. If you have something similar, you can follow along with these steps. I'm going to go to my embroidery module. I'm going to go to my flash drive because I keep all of my files on a flash drive. I have a folder called Enchanted Winter. I'm going to click on that. And now I'm going to go to the quilting design. I am now looking for the 4x4 geometric. And I have all of them in subfolders. So let's go geometric. And I'm looking for the 4x4 horizontal, which is this one right here. And make sure, yes, it's horizontal. This is the vertical. I want the horizontal for this snowflake design. That looks great. See, it comes in at 4.5 by 4.5 inches. Going to click set. Now I'm going to add the main embroidery design on top of this. If your machine can't do this, don't worry. You're going to stitch this out first, clear your memory, and then load the main embroidery design and stitch that second. All right. But if you can add this, let's go ahead and do it now. We're going to add flash drive, Enchanted Winter, main project details, and I'm looking for Snowflake number 2, which is this one right here. That's the one I want. Click set. It's going to center it beautifully all on its own. All I have to do is click embroidery. All right, let's go back to the hoop cam. There we go. Okay, so now we're ready to start. We're going to have that blue thread up on top. We're going to stitch out the first stitch, which is a placement line to tell us where to put the batting. All right, so put your foot down and click start. Let's do this. That was easy. Now we're going to put my batting down, right side facing up. How I can tell on this one is on the back side I've got little like bumps. That would be the back side of the batting. So every batting is different. So hopefully you know on your batting which side is up. Put that side facing up. And then I'm going to line up the batting so that it's on equal on all 4 sides. put the foot down, and the next stitch out will be to tack down this batting. Just remember, keep your fingers away from the moving needle. Perfect. Now take a pair of curved scissors, take the hoop off the machine, go over to our table, and I want you to trim away all of this excess batting from around all 4 sides of that stitch line, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, that is all trimmed up. Now I'm going to use the same blue thread up on top, put the foot down, and stitch out the next step, which is the placement line for the fabric. So now I'm going to place the fabric down. Now they've recommended that the chevrons go up and down, not sideways. So I'm going to do the same, but you can kind of do it however you want to. I'm going to make sure everything covers that placement line, which it does. And then the benefit is you can feel the batting. I can feel the edge of the batting. Make sure I'm centered. Feel the edge on the top and the bottom, and we're good. All right, I'm going to use my stylus to help hold the fabric down. Let's put the foot down and tack down this fabric. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to stitch out the quilting. I'm going to still use that blue thread up on top because that's what I wanted for my quilting. Going to put the foot down, and it's only a minute long. We're going to stitch out the quilting. Enjoy. Okay, now we're going to put our snowflake thread in the top of my machine. And I'm going to do white like I did for the last block because I want my snowflakes to be white. Kimberbell actually has a linen color thread, which would be cool, but I want my snowflakes to be white, so I've chosen white. You choose your snowflake color in your thread and put that on the top of your machine. Now we're going to stitch out the snowflake. Make sure you don't have a loop in your thread, and this is a 13-minute in real time stitch out. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. that is a cool snowflake. I think I like this one better than the last block. And you know, even though it doesn't have a place to put the crystals, you could still put crystals on the outside of those, and I think I will do that too. All right, but this block is done for right now on the embroidery machine. Yay! Okay, isn't that cool? All right, so take the block out of the hoop. Let's go over to the table and let me show you how to finish up this block. Okay, now we're at the table with this beautiful snowflake block, and now all we have to do is trim this up, and we want it to be 4.5 inches across by 4.5 inches high. So I'm going to measure this outer stitch line from one to another is 4.5, and from the one side to the other side is also 4.5. So we're going to use this outside stitch line, the line that we created when we tacked down this fabric. We're going to use that as our line to trim up this block. Okay, I'm going to start with the side, only because my ruler will get from the top of the stabilizer to the bottom. Over here it's a little bit short, so I just turn it on edge for the first cut so I can cleanly get all this off. I'm going to put my ruler right on that stitch line. And it looks like I'm not straight because the fabric wasn't straight on the machine, but it will be good because I'm on that stitch line all the way across. So take that off. Turn around this other side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go on that stitch line. There we go. And I'm lining it up also with my mat, because visually it makes it look a little confusing because the fabric is off kilter a little bit. I'm going to line the side up with the mat, and then when I'm on the stitch line, I'm also going to see where I'm on the 1/2 inch mark, and I'm on the 1/2 inch mark, so I know I'm straight. That way I don't have to rely on my eyes. I have that angle that's visually throwing me off, and then I have the print of the fabric, which is also throwing me off. So when that happens, use your mat as your guideline. Okay, so I'm going to start with this side. These two lines again are not quite straight on the fabric, so I'm going to line this part up on the mat so I know that part's straight. I'm going to go to the stitch line right there, and then I'm going to also line it up with my mat so I know I'm spot on. Use your ruler and use your mat if you visually have difficulty lining something up. That's what they're there for. And this stitch line is not exactly straight, so I'm going to go to that stitch line, but then I'm also going to square it up again using my mat. So that's where I want to be. Okay, so now I'm 4.5 square right on, and any difference on this stitch line on this side is going to be sewn into your seam allowance, so you won't have any difficulty there. So how about that? That's how you square up your block to be 4.5 inches square. You did it. Okay, this was a fun block to make. I really like the satin stitches on that snowflake. That was cool. So I hope you enjoyed making this block today as much as I have. And I hope you stay tuned here on Jolly Molly TV for more fun blocks in this amazing project by Kimberbell, Enchanted Winter. So until I see you next time, take care and happy stitching. Bye-bye.